Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gary Krishnarovich, and for today's video, we are going to help you guys improve your running forehand or your forehand on the run. We're going to touch on a few different things: court positioning, swing variations, how we actually come through and plow on the ball. But one of the reasons why I want to discuss this topic is because we are currently in the midst of the ATP Cup being held in Australia, and over the past week or so, I've been watching a bunch of the top players really unload and do some serious damage in the most difficult positions when they seem to be stressed on the forehand side. I watched Berrettini plow through some incredible forehands in difficult positions. Same thing with Rublev and Zverev and Djokovic. All are really coming up with some seriously big hitting when they are being stressed on the run on the forehand. This means we need to learn from this, from watching the top players, is that just because you are being stressed to your forehand side, if it is legitimately your weapon, it can still be a weapon on the run. And that is something that these top players do so well. They actually are able to hurt you in the position where most of us would just try to get the ball back in play and scramble and hope to get back to position. These players are able to actually hurt their opponents, sometimes hitting winners, sometimes forcing errors. But that is a really good thing for us to learn from and cue off of for you guys to develop and help yourselves in your own game. One of the main things I want you guys to pay attention to when you are hitting your forehand on the run is simplifying your backswing, and then also keeping your backswing off to your side, meaning that you're not taking your racket too far back. So again, keeping your swing off to your side, that's the first main thing I want you guys to pay attention to. Instead of taking your racket back here, it's going to stay off alongside of your body. Keeping your backswing minimal, right? So making sure that we are not taking a full swing at the ball, but we're actually simplifying the backswing, trying to keep it nice and compact off to the side. Third is keeping your contact point in front, making sure that you're not letting the ball get up on you, but keeping it further in front. Another main thing that I really want you guys to pay attention to, and this is so key, especially if you have an Eastern or semi-Western grip such as I, keep your palm facing the court as you come through on the shot. So at some point, right, you're gonna drop the racket, palms down, and then as you plow through on the shot, you want it to actually stay facing the court as you come all the way across. It's the same for if you go for the Rafa swing, right, the buggy. You're coming through, but your palm faces the court the whole time. What that does is it allows less variables for you to have to control. You're not focusing on closing the racket face. You're just keeping your palm plowing through the shot, which will allow you to be much more aggressive on the ball that could potentially be very defensive. Another really big thing for you guys to pay attention to is getting your feet set up as best as you can. Obviously, if you're being stressed, you're either going to be using the run-through footwork or the slalom footwork. Run through is where you actually run through the shot as you're hitting, where the slalom is basically a dynamic open stance shot where you're just swiveling your feet through contact. You're swiveling your feet through contact and getting your feet behind your contact point, meaning that you're not running back to hit, right? If this is your point of contact, you're not running back to hit the shot. You're actually running into it, trying to get your momentum coming into contact and into the court is another really important piece for you guys to pay attention to. And then lastly, targeting. So for the most part, you should be targeting deep cross court. Another really good option, and this is what I've seen from Berrettini and Djokovic, is they're actually going for the shorter ball. Thiem did this a lot at the US Open last year when he won, targeting short cross court. So he'd be on the stretch on the run and he would rip a ball that wouldn't necessarily be hitting the service line, but it would be somewhere between the service line and the baseline cross court, which would be short enough to stress his opponent, but also aggressively hit so that it wasn't coming in as a roller, but it's actually plowing through the court. Djokovic does this really well as well. He does a fantastic job of also redirecting that shot down the line, and part of that has to do with his ability to keep the palm facing through the court, so it's a little bit easier to direct that shot as you do that. So the targeting is primarily cross-court deep. Secondary, you might go a little bit short. Third, a really underused option is deep through the middle, right? Deep through the middle of the court is a fantastic way or place to target your ball, because if you hit it aggressively enough, you are going to eliminate any and all angles that your opponent can create. So their next ball is probably going to come more down the pipe, right? More down the middle of the court, allowing your recovery to have to be less and get yourself back into position for the next shot. Last, and this is what many juniors opt for as their first, you target down the line. And you should really only target down the line if you've already established this primary default cross court or middle, meaning your opponent's going to be already shifted over on the court. And then you can test it down the line occasionally. But that should not be your primary target when you are being stressed on the run. So in this video, I'm actually using a slinger bag to help me work on this sequence. So first I'm recovering from the middle of the court and then slightly shift it over to the side. So those are the two cones that you see in the video. I'm limiting my time to recover, and I'm just completing sets of 6, maybe 8 balls, because it is really exhausting, right? I'm stressing myself to capacity. What I want you guys to notice is that the contact point, or where I'm actually hitting this ball, is just inside the singles line, right? So this is not a ball where I'm already beyond the singles line, I'm in the alley. If that was the case, I would not be opting for a rip, right? I would be opting to buy time and shape the ball. This is a ball where I'm inside the singles lines, inside the trams of the court, and I have the opportunity and the ability to actually do something with this shot. And I think that that is something that a lot of players at all levels misunderstand, is just because I'm on the run does not mean that I necessarily have to play defensively. I can also opt to play more aggressively if I'm getting my feet into position, if I'm tracking the ball, if I'm moving aggressively, and I'm actually making contact inside the tram lines, right? As soon as I'm beyond the tram lines, I'm probably going for a high percentage ball, trying to buy time and get myself back into the court. So in between each shot, I'm recovering behind the cone. I'm trying to work on the same things I just talked to you about, right? Simplifying the backswing, keeping my swing off to the side, keeping my contact slightly in front, using either the run through or the slalom, depending on how far away from the ball I am. If I am further away, I'm probably going to use the run through. If I'm a bit closer to the ball, I'm probably going to opt for the slalom so that I can stay over my feet. A big thing here to also note for yourself is dynamic balance, right? Meaning that I'm staying over my feet as I'm coming and running through the shot so that I can quickly recover back. If I'm off balance as I'm hitting this shot, I'm not going to be able to recover and get back into position and defend for the next shot, meaning this is the end of the point, and that should never be the case. You're not aiming to hit a winner here, you are trying to hit an aggressive ball to neutralize and regain control of the point, not hitting a winner. Ideally forcing an error or regaining control of the rally. I hope you guys got a lot out of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys tune in next week for another fantastic tip to help you guys level up your game.